Thank you, Diksha. Also, please tell us why you joined. It'll be very important so that we can make the call contextual to you. Thank you, Suyash. Thank you, Sangeeta. Thank you, Kavita. Thank you, Manish. When you say transactions, I assume these are financial transactions, almost like a e-commerce.
Registration and commerce.
Fantastic. Okay. Thanks, Sangeeta. Bharti ji, sure. Information किसके बारे में, if you could just detail that out, will help. Thank you, Nami. Thank you, Ronald. Fantastic. Thank you, Chandu. Thank you, Shraddha. Abhishek, if there's anything specific you would want to learn and understand, please let us know. Edwin. Thank you, Satyendra ji. Nikhil, if you could again detail out more, will be great. Thank you, Dansing ji. Right. Let's start off. I will share a very, very simple presentation. Great. This part is all about, I'm assuming you can see the screen. Is the screen visible?
Yeah, it is.
Great, right? Let's first understand at a high level, what does a WhatsApp chatbot unlock? We'll also understand what's WhatsApp chat. What's a chatbot on WhatsApp? We'll keep it generic, right? Anyone who provides a WhatsApp chatbot will be enabling you or your organization through these. First thing, some context, WhatsApp is almost pre-installed on every Android phone nowadays, except for Apple, which means that on WhatsApp, you'll probably find the highest number of people at any given point of time. Everyone knows to use it. My mother knows how to use it, so I'm sure anyone knows how to use it. We all probably, amongst us, use it at least 10 times a day, if not more, right? And India is the largest user of WhatsApp. So WhatsApp, therefore, is a very powerful medium for all of us to leverage. A bot is basically an automation of a conversation between a software, which is the bot, and the user. Now, what are the advantages? We keep hearing from the users of the bot that because it responds to them in real time, day, night, evening, holiday, doesn't matter, it gets a response, it responds. The users feel very, very heard. And this is a very powerful soft impact. Now, when you're sharing information across the bot with 100 users, the same information goes. So tomorrow you do not need to have any doubts about what information has to be shared. You do not need to worry about, did I miss this? Did I not share this? If they're on the bot and they're accessing the same conversation, same information goes to all of them. This is especially true when you have something like WhatsApp groups, when you have to answer so many people, right? Now, let's say they have to access some information. Am I eligible for this scheme? How do I improve my English? How do I learn coding? What are career options for me, right? Can I get medical care? Can I get mental health support? The fact that data can be accessed on the chatbot on WhatsApp makes it very easy for them to keep accessing more data. Like I said earlier, I'm sure all of you are part of at least 10 to 20 WhatsApp groups as part of work, right? This will save a lot of your time in manning WhatsApp groups and responding to the same questions over and over again, but in different ones. Now, the last thing, I've used the word webhook, but imagine this. Imagine you are all working with 100 people. You want to register them and you want to ask them if they want access to some service. Monitoring WhatsApp itself to kind of understand who these users are, do they want the services or not, is very difficult. But imagine if this is sent to a Google Sheet. Very easy. And we've seen this happening during COVID. We have seen this happening during audits, public audits. We've seen this during scheme rollouts. All of this information a user types on WhatsApp for a particular set of questions you ask can be pushed in real time to Google Sheet. You will see that also during the demo today. So bot is very powerful. I'll pause. Do you have any questions? If yes, I can quickly clarify it. If not, we'll move on. You can also type your questions in the chat window. Okay, in the interest of time, I'll show you a couple of use cases. We have a lot of them, but these are some which have really struck a chord with me. Imagine you're a person who's entered a new city, right? You are a migrant worker. You want to find accommodation close by. How will you do it? Typically, you will have heard from someone from your own village saying, "Arey, you can stay here." But in case you don't have people, what do you do? Now, this is a bot by Bandhu. Put aside the question saying, how will I find the bot in the first place? But you find this bot, you send it a voice note describing what kind of accommodation you want. Are you with your family? Are you okay sharing rooms? Do you need a toilet? What kind of toilet, etc. What your budget is. And that voice note is then converted into a query in the backend through the bot. And then on the bot, you will receive a set of 3 potential places you can stay in. Right? And you can keep on searching the database for more suitable homes, but through a chatbot, through the power of WhatsApp on your phone, you can get housing recommendations. Bandhu has done about 25,000 interactions since March 2023. They cover about 12 languages. You can speak to Bandhu bot in any language if it's covered by them. They're seeing that almost 90% of costs in terms of search where you're finding or speaking to the landlord and getting access to the property is safe. Right? This is Bandhu. You can see a QR code there. If you want, you can use your phone, scan the QR code, and you can actually experience the Bandhu bot. This is one use case. I'm sure all of you have at some point of time interacted with policies which do not make sense or leave you with a lot of questions. There's something called as public consultation, which before a policy is put into practice, the government or the department which is rolling it out has to get public feedback. But if you're the department, how do you reach people? They're all over the place. They're all over the country. It's a huge country. How do you get a diverse set of representative people to give you feedback? What Civis is doing is they're using the WhatsApp chatbot. They take a policy, they simplify it into simple media, photos, etc., so that at a high level you can understand what the policy is about. After that's done, there's a button which comes saying what is this. So you can press what is this, ask any question, almost like ChatGPT. You can have a conversation to understand what does the policy really enable. After you're done with your questions, it'll ask you 3 questions to understand your feedback, which is then collated onto sheets, analyzed and then sent back to the department. So in a way, you can very, very quickly give effective feedback. So after they roll this out, they have noticed that almost 3x increase in questions are there, which means the users feel way more comfortable asking the bot questions saying, what does this mean? Who is SEBI? Why are they involved in this? It also they've seen that in the first year, they've had a 5x increase in their outreach. So important for us to think about. Again, the QR code is there. However, the policy might have changed. So please let us know if it doesn't work. Now, we have all heard of something called as water quality, right? It's a very real, tough data point. How do you make something like water quality usable by villagers through a CHO, which is a community health officer? What INREM has done is they're given all the volunteers water testing kits. After you're done testing it, you use the WhatsApp chatbot to quickly submit responses. So you are crowdsourcing information on one side. This information goes, we'll show you exactly how this happens later. It goes, merges with other data points.
Because it is flowing away. You will only do whatever is in the tray.
Right. So water, all of this gets merged with other data points. And then the CHO can actually ask what is fluoride, how much fluoride is bad as a voice note. They can say, what do I do if fluoride is so high in my village? So suddenly they are empowering community health officers to work for the betterment of their villages. Right? Almost 813 villages have been benefiting from this. They're seeing good impact. Capacity building, I'm sure we all work in education capacity building. And I'm sure we all have a lot of questions about finance, budgeting, what is FCRA, are we eligible, etc.
Yes.
What Rebuild is doing is
Paki.
trying out.
आपकी जरूरत से बाकी है.
What Rebuild is doing is that they are actually, they've used this bot where they're slowly rolling out to their cohorts. If you are one of the people on the bot, you can ask questions. What is FCRA? Am I eligible? Anything related to budgeting and finance, you can ask questions, and this helps answer in real time. They've gotten very, very good feedback. In case you want to do any sort of capacity building, this is something you can try out. Skill assessment, impact, etc. What Reap Benefit and Solvency have done is if you are a person who's self-reporting problem-solving actions in the neighborhood, you answer a set of questions. When it comes to a description, you leave a voice note in your mother tongue, right? Using the power of AI, using the power of chatbot, they translate it. Then they give it back to you in English so that you can see if it sounds good. If you're happy, you say, okay. And then it populates into your Changemaker portfolio. So then you can see what actions you have taken, what kind of skills you're demonstrating. So tomorrow when you go out to speak to anyone, you don't need to be in doubt saying, have I really done anything impactful? Right? This will in a way help you remember everything you have done. This is a great way to start a conversation with authorities. They've tried it. Again, something you should try. We have other use cases, farmers getting self-paced content. How do I improve the yield of my produce? What do I do? This bug comes. Soon to be first-time mothers learning about maternal health when they have limited access to healthcare. Right? For helping parents to care for children with disabilities, these are some use cases we have seen. If you have any questions about your use cases, I will ask you to please put it into the chat window. We are happy to answer. Now, all of this is resulting in data, right? And I'm sure we all have data in Excel sheets, data in pen and paper, which we collected from the field into databases, maybe from the chatbot, maybe from IVRS. How do you merge all of this and make sense? That's something I will talk about. But let's look at how some of our NGO users have used the data they're collecting from the bot. You can map it anonymously so that at a state level, central level, at any level, you can start seeing patterns. This is what Reap Benefit has done. They call this Samaj data. Different crowdsourced data points about any sort of civic environmental issue goes onto this map. It's anonymized so that anyone can see it. You can start seeing patterns coming. Is there an overlap between leaves being burnt and air quality? Right? Is there an overlap between streetlight not working and people throwing garbage or urination? So you can see all of these things thanks to this map. We have had some NGOs using the chatbot to actually drive their programs. Hey, our goal is 1, 2, 3, 4. How much of the goal is achieved thanks to our work? The chatbot is informing all the reported data there. Then you can start seeing engagement patterns. At what time of the day are people most active? What day of the week are the most active? What hour of the day are the most active? Are there any patterns when we did this kind of broadcast? Was there an increase? Was there a decrease? All these are programmatic decisions or interventions. The minute you make it like this, goal-based, it allows for the team to start having conversations. Arey, why is there a gap in this data? Our number should be higher. Things like this. I would now want to take 2 minutes to talk about something called as Dalgo. I earlier shared this problem where if you have multiple sources of data, merging it and making sense is difficult. Similarly, for INREM, they had multiple sources of data, right? Chatbot, past data collected, Google Forms, Kobo Toolbox, their own volunteers going to the ground and collecting data. What they did was they used this service called as Dalgo. If you're interested, we can share more about it later. What Dalgo does is that it allows you to map all of these data points, saying these are all the data points which needs to go into a central place. Say, okay, these are the terminologies we are used. So in Google, let's say name is there. In the chatbot, it might be called username. In Kobo Collect, it might be user underscore name. So these are the same. So then when you're actually putting them together, they make sense. Dalgo allows you to clean up your data. If you have dealt with data, you know how difficult it is. And at the end, visualize it so that you can start making sense of this. So it's a very, very interesting platform. For INREM, the fact that multiple sources of data was getting merged with something where water quality information was also getting overlapped, the user at the end of it could make they could use it very easily because this merged data would be what makes sense. You submit water quality data, in that it identifies that fluoride is high. Then you ask questions saying what is fluoride from the knowledge base, from different things. It is able to tell you, okay, this is what's fluoride. This is acceptable. These are solutions you can use to solve it. So very, very powerful tool. Some fears if you have a tech team, if you don't have a tech team, which is natural and which we have seen. Hey, we don't have a tech team. We do not have bandwidth. In the demo, I will project the backend of Glific. You can see how it looks. You can see how flows are made. We truly believe, after seeing how our users are used Glific, that you really don't require too much of tech talent. We use something called as a drag and drop editor. Makes it very easy for you to make chatbot flows. Multiple languages. If there's anyone who deals with just one or two languages, please in the chat say 2 languages. I'm sure most of you deal with multiple languages. So Glyphic makes it very easy for you to enable almost 12 to 15 languages on a particular chatbot flow. If you write the whole flow in English or whatever is your default language and you have the other languages enabled, there's this feature called as auto translate. You just press that one single button. It'll automatically translate into all of those languages. So all you have to do is make sure that the first content is correct. And then you just have to read all of the other languages to make sure it is suitable, appropriate. So your time in creating content again and again is saved. And integrations, difficult. I need my data into Google Sheet. My team only knows how to use Google products like or Excel sheets. Very easy. In real time, you can write into Google Sheet. You'll see that happening today, right? How do we engage users? How do we update them? Chatbot makes it very easy. During COVID, we saw someone using the chatbot where during second wave, there was a huge shortage of beds. You would enter your COVID testing ID, which is called SRF ID. If you're already in the database, it would give you an update of the status for your bed, or it will tell you which NGO is looking for your bed. If not, it would take your data and save it. So Google Sheet integration makes life very, very easy. Right? How do you engage people? Broadcast at a time. We just saw the example of how you can map when the users are more active. You know exactly when to send them a message, follow up, nudge, etc. Feedback collection, very difficult. You'll probably experience that today, right? And capacity building, very difficult to build capacity, not only of the users, but also of my team. Again, you will see how easy it is to do. I will pause now and allow you to ask any questions. If there are any key questions in what you have seen so far which wasn't clear, I will take time to explain. Else, we'll quickly go to the demo.
GP, we are having some messages in the chat window. Can you please check?
हिंदी में जानकारी दीजिए. Sure. We will share the presentation. ठीक है. मेरा हिंदी उतना अच्छा नहीं है, सो माफ कर लीजिए. पर बेसिकली चैटबॉट जल्दी में एक्सप्लेन कर लूंगा. चैटबॉट क्या है? एक सॉफ्टवेयर है जिसमें आप एक पर्सन के साथ एक कॉन्वर्सेशन जो है आप उसको ऑटोमेट कर सकते हो. ये बोला तो ये कर सकते हो. ये बॉट ये करना है. राइट. एक्चुअली दीक्षा, यू माइट बी बेटर विथ योर हिंदी. Manish will answer your question. और एक कर लेंगे राजकुमार जी और भारती जी. एक कर लेंगे. हम अभी इनमें डेमो कर रहे हैं ना. आप एक बार
जी
बॉट
जी
यूज कर
ओके
लीजिए. बॉट
ओके
यूज करने के बाद जो क्वेश्चन है मैं आंसर कर लूंगा. इजी हो जाएगा.
ठीक है ओके
और एक और बार माफी मांगना चाहता हूँ, मेरा हिंदी थोड़ा ओके है.
कोई दिक्कत
सो
नहीं ठीक है
ठीक है. आ, आ, सबके पास व्हाट्सएप में इधर एक लिंक भेज सकता हूँ. वो आप क्लिक किया तो इट विल ओपन व्हाट्सएप विथ अ मैसेज टाइप. यू कैन click on it and use it. If not, I will tell you how to do the same. Right? Let me just very quickly share the link with you. Meeting. So, if you can see your Zoom chat window, you will see the link. If you click on it, if you have WhatsApp web open, it will quickly open the open WhatsApp with a message called demo type. You just have to hit send. If you do not have WhatsApp web, you will see in this link a phone number +91 86570 48982. You can just save this as the Glific bot and send a message on WhatsApp saying demo. If you have any issues with this, please let me know. I will now share how the backend looks. So while we are using the bot, you can so I'm resharing the link here. If you cannot use the link, just please save the phone number. I'm pasting the phone number here, right? And send a message to it on WhatsApp saying demo with a double O. I pasted the word as well.
आर्टिकल मध्ये कर ना आर्टिकल मध्ये ठेका पद्धतीने
Right now we can actually see Manish ji, who is on the bot, who's on the call right now using the bot. He said, Manish ji, did you say demo or did you say hi? Demo with a 00. Let me just help you restart the flow.
Oh, I first did a demo with single. I removed the single. I thought it was a mistake. Then I sent it again with double
No
O.
worries. Now you can try again. So you just saw me stopping your flow for the user, which is
What should I
Manish
do?
ji. So
Demo with double O, right?
double O.
Okay. Yeah, it's I
So
will.
you have picked Hindi.
I didn't opt Hindi. It just took
Okay.
Hindi.
Yeah,
Just a
it is
minute.
not asking any language. It just
Yeah, it's not
went on to Hindi.
No problem. Now you can still see my screen, right?
Yeah, I can still see your screen. So how did it take the default language as Hindi?
So I think somewhere in your flow, you have at some point used Hindi, so it's picked that up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to
It gave
terminate your
me
flow.
default options as Hindi. I mean, just started with the chat.
Try again. Try demo again.
अरे यार.
Sorry, somebody said "Arey yaar," so I'm not sure. Did the bot do something which it wasn't supposed to do, or did I say
No,
something
there is
bad?
a
Or
lot of
has changed
background noises, no? Not at your
Okay.
end, but the other. Yeah, so it is confusing.
I will try to understand who's
I'm
speaking
sorry,
so I can.
maybe it was from my side. Yeah, sorry about that. So I've
So
Sorry,
it has asked to आपको किस नाम से like वो question पूछा है. It has asked the question कि whether you would be like to know continued to be known as Kavita. So and then there is no message.
did you type a button?
No, there was this
So
clip.
let's do this. Let's do this. Let's actually follow what Manish is doing. We'll get a good example and then we can
Yeah,
understand what's happening, right?
Okay.
So Manish came in and said demo. So what it first did was it checked if Manish had opted into using the bot service. WhatsApp, if you remember, is designed for privacy, encryption, etc. So until you opt in, it will not allow you to continue. So first thing he did is it checked if Manish had opted in. Manish opted in. As soon as Manish, I'm sorry, can I ask everyone to mute?
Chandok ji,
Yeah.
please mute yourself. Chandok.
If you can please mute it, lots of disturbances. Shantok Guha.
Thank you.
I hope you're listening. Lots of disturbances all throughout the program.
Sorry, for now, I will just mute everyone. So that way we can just see what is happening on the screen with Manish ji. We'll come back to taking questions and answer at that point. We will unmute. So for now, we can quickly see what's happening. So we start with a quick opt-in. After the opt-in is done, you will all want to understand who your user is, right? That's registration. So what it did here, slightly before, was that here it asked Manish. Now, asking the user to type their name is difficult. So here we have a way of understanding what the user's name is. We all have saved names on WhatsApp. So it just checked that and said, are you okay being called Manish or not? So Manish said, I'm okay being called Manish. So quickly did that. Then it went into a registration form. So Chandokji, if you don't mind, we will take questions in a bit. So Manish said, continue. Next question, just for the sake of showing how a registration can look, where you're collecting information. How old are you? Manish put in some number. Simple registration form, done. So next time Manish comes back and says demo, it'll know that Manish has opted in, it'll know Manish has already registered and directly take him to the next part. It'll skip the whole registration. This is something you can do, right? Now we're giving some use cases. So first was a speech to text. Speech to text is where you might have users who will use voice notes to communicate. So Manishji, whichever language you know, if you can mix a few languages and share a voice note, let's see if the bot is able to pick this up, right? So go ahead. So Manish has shared a 6-second voice note. Let's see what this was. Okay. So there was some error in the voice to text. Usually there is extremely good accuracy in this. Maybe the service is down, but what happens is that anything you say, any language gets translated into English and it returns it back here. Right now, for some reason, the service didn't work. So we'll get back to you on the demo again once it works. Right. Next is we have this use case where you might have hyperlocal information where users can share their current location and we are able to pull something. Manish, could you just share your current location? It's only going to be used for demo. We don't store it. Hello.
I'm doing it.
Sure.
I was actually initially I used from laptop. Now I have to log in. Did go.
Hello.
Great. So he shared his location. It extracted the lat long just to show lat long, and now it said, "Oh, you're near Arikere," and it's given Manish. Like I just want to do something where if he clicks this link, it'll find the closest public toilets and share it back to him. So tomorrow, in case you want to use this for anything, closest school, closest Anganwadi, closest primary healthcare center, closest resource person, using this geolocation, you can do it. Who are the resource people I should talk to in my neighborhood? All of these are possible if you leverage geolocation. Now, next thing is support tickets. Typically, there are a lot of cases where people ask for help, right? So Manish, can you please ask for help? Ask whatever you want, and I'll show you how a support ticket comes on the back end.
So do I need to type?
Yeah, just type anything.
Yeah.
Right? Now you can see he's asked for help about chatbot. On the left side, you can see a menu. If you click on close, it'll expand. You'll see something called a support tickets, right? If I click on support tickets, you will see that Manish's support ticket right now is there. He's asked for a support. He's asked the issues he wants help about chatbot. Now, in case I want to add a remark, I can click on the add a remark. Right now, the ticket is open. I can make it open, closed. I can reassign it to anyone, right? So I'm just going to assign it to GP. I'm going to say, please check, right? Save. Next, I can click on send a message. What it'll do is it'll open the exact point in the chat where Manish has asked for help. So I can now quickly talk to him. Hey, Manish, what do you need help on? And then we can quickly solve. So this is a support ticket. Now let's do, we'll move on to the next one. We all will have some examples where we want to deliver e-learning content. This is a simple example of how you can share any type of media on the chatbot. So we have media, PDF, documents, images, voice notes. This is a very, very powerful video seen from Lead India campaign by Times of India. If not, if you've seen it, great. If not, please have a look. This brings us to one end of the flow. I will now pause. It's going to ask you for feedback in case you can. There was a delay of a minute which we had introduced. You can now answer the questions. I will pause. Would any of you want to see an AI-driven FAQ example? If yes, please unmute and then state your name so I can show you how that will look. Anyone who wants to see an AI-based example?
Yes.
Now, wait. Dwayne, I'm just going to trigger this for you, and we're going to observe you on the screen. Right? I'm again going to share screen. I'm going to find Dwayne on the bot. Dwayne is here. Dwayne, I'm going to terminate your flow. Right, I'm going to start a flow. So at any point, in case you want to start a conversation with someone, first look to the top right. You will see something called as time left. Now for WhatsApp, there's something called as a conversation window. So for the next 24 hours, I can have as many messages I want to exchange with Dwayne as I want to solve whatever his problem is. Now let's say you want to start a flow. You go to this, you click on the drop down next to the user's name, hit start a flow. I'm just going to say some demo. Let's pick, yeah, right. This is a simple one. I need you to ask any question you want about NRLM, which is National Rural Livelihood Mission. You can even if you don't know, your question can be what is it? But first, you are allowed to define how many words you want the response in. So Dwayne, could you respond? How many words would you want the response in? You just put in a number, 25, 30, 200. 50 words, right? So now please ask a question. It can either be a voice note or it can be a text message. For the sake of ease, can you just type a message saying what is NRLM and how does it help India? So what is happening right now is we have fed the AI with a knowledge base about NRLM, 5 documents basically. It'll take some time, usually anywhere between 5 to 10 seconds to run through the backend. Now let's wait and see what the response is.
What happens? I had a question here.
Sure.
What happens in case there's a typo or if there is, or if it doesn't form a proper sentence? My query.
It actually answers the question. You don't, it basically, how AI works is it looks for keywords. It'll kind of understand what you're trying to say and answer. Looks like one core service which was used is done, but let me quickly give you a demo of how it'll look. This is me, and I'm just showing you this only because the mm, so here, basically, I'm just showing an example, 300 words. What does DMMU mean? Because she's put in the thing saying words, it's not understood that it has to limit it to 300 words. Just 300 would have done. So now it's gone to the bot, the backend, and it's figured out what's DMMU and answered, right? Let's say, who does the retainer consultant report to? Retainer consultant reports to the CEO because she's asked for it in 5 to 6 words. You can just say retainer consultant report question mark, and it'll try to parse it together and answer. Let me see if there's one more example. How many CC can be deployed to one cluster? One cluster coordinator. So it's actually understood that CC means cluster coordinator. One cluster coordinator can be deployed to one cluster. All this is coming from the knowledge base. I will pause. I apologize. Looks like some service is down today. As soon as the demo is working, I will get back to you guys. But in the meantime, I'll quickly pause. We can take any questions you have. If there's something I can quickly clarify, I will do it. If you can just keep your questions coming in the chat window, I will that way go through the questions and answer.
So, Gautam,
Yeah.
Chad
Yeah,
asked
Manish.
data. You said it will get answered. So,
Sure.
can you explain a little bit about the architecture and how does it connect to our servers?
Sure. Sure.
Or yeah, how does it
Sure.
work?
Sure. So there's something called as a webhook, right? For anyone who has a custom tool you
Hmm.
want to connect to,
Hmm.
there is something called as a webhook. Let me just show you one example.
Hmm. The webhook is created
You
by
just go to the web.
Hmm.
So this is basically a dummy webhook. You will have a webhook on your services side.
Hmm.
You just basically call the either use a get put
Yeah.
or get post request,
Yeah.
send exactly what key value pairs you want to send, and you receive information back.
Got it.
Right. So here I'm using a function to basically send the voice note, the user ID, to the URL and my contact details, and it's able to kind of send it back as a voice note.
Mhm.
Similarly, if I'm going to write something to a Google Sheet, all I have to say is I have to map the Google Sheet, make sure that my user ID has right permission. In this case, it's right. And then say for today's date, send this ID, whoever they spoke to, put that person's name, and whatever is the translated text. So if I click on this, please let me know if you can see my Google Sheet. You can basically see date, some anonymized user ID and name, and then whatever is a voice text. So here, doesn't matter what language it is in, it will translate it to English and put it in. There were two examples here. These two were said, these two were voice notes coming in North Bihar. There's a dialect called as Surjapuri. They had tried out Surjapuri, almost 80% accuracy was there.
So you're saying that so somebody in the village can send information in a voice note, and the
Yeah.
platform can translate it and put it in a textual form in a Excel sheet.
Yeah.
Can it even take an action on it? Let's say, is it like or what kind of actions can it take?
As in when you say an action, could you elaborate?
So for example, it says, where is my nearest health center, primary health center? So
So,
comes as a voice note
uh-huh.
in some language,
Sure.
let's say Assamese, and there's a list. So like, can it work like that?
Mm,
So it'll need to
so
interpret
basically, what I'll
action
have to do,
associated to
yeah.
it. And, yeah.
So now the only point is it doesn't have your location. So unless, so there are a couple of ways to do it. One way to do it would be to translate your voice note, see if your voice note has a location, else check your contact profile to see if in your registration there's a location, and then generate a Google Maps link if because Google Maps has certain primary healthcare centers saying uh, return the link for this. That's one way. Two, it can say, okay, there's no lat long, so please share your current location, like you have seen in the demo. Share that. Three, if it is if there's a knowledge base where you have district with the primary healthcare center location, it can quickly look that up on a Google Sheet and send it back. These are different ways the bot can do it, and you can
Okay,
program
so
the bot.
essentially you're saying it can interpret that the ask is for a primary health center, and it can take an appropriate action depending upon the data available.
Yeah. So it depends on how you program it. That's the yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right. So there are 3-4 ways of doing it. Happy to kind of detail it out on a more one-on-one call, but in generic, if you send a voice note and you wanted to take a certain action, you can either do voice to speech to text and then take the action on the chatbot front, or if you're going to use a knowledge base in Google Sheets and then read from a Google Sheet, you can do speech to text, understand the location Bangalore, and then search the Google Sheet for Bangalore and return it. Or you can say, okay, I want to power this completely by AI, speech to text, goes to the AI, which then generates the response and sends back to you. So these are all different ways you can do it.
For the location part, is there a way to get it automatically, or does it have to be explicitly selected by the user or the guidelines?
So in this one example, I show you shared
Yeah,
your
I added.
question.
Huh.
Okay. So that's reverse geocoding.
Huh.
It's a simple way you can do it. Or you can type your city, or you can type your pin code. That's another way of manually doing it. If
But
you
can't
use
you get
speech
it
to
from
text,
Android directly? Like if I'm connecting from a phone, and
unless you share it, it's a privacy violation, right? So until you manually share it, it can't take it.
can't. Okay.
Right? You share it, it'll do it. Or you, in a voice note, you say I'm in Bangalore, it can then use speech to text to figure out where you are and give you a response. That's also doable.
Understood.
Right? I will take some other questions. Richa and Bharti, I will quickly get back to restarting your flows. Please give me some time. Suyash asked, can we send bulk messages to a list of mobile numbers we have in your database? The first message will have to be asking them to opt in. You can do it in these ways. Either A, if they're all on a WhatsApp group, you send a link like you've shared, saying, please click this link and then join a chatbot explaining why they should do it. So that's one way we've seen people doing it. The second way is you send a message to them, a template message which Facebook checks and verifies saying it's not spam, saying, hey, please join our service. If it's approved by Facebook, then you can send bulk messages. Also, what Facebook does is first time you're sending messages, it'll limit it to 100 people. It'll check if people, sure, Manish. If people say it's spam, then it will not allow you to send more messages. If like that day, very few people say it's spam, then it will allow you to repeat 100 for a week. After that, it increases number to 1,000. Then after a week of 1,000, it will increase it to 10,000. So basically allows you to message high number of people. But there's a validation process Facebook brings in. Hope that answers your question. We do not provide any databases. We are just a communication platform. You will have to reach out to, you will have to create the database. Next is Chandok's question saying how to build a chatbot exclusive to the organization. It's very easy if you sign up to Glific. I'll show you. You saw how the chatbot flow is, right? It's a set of boxes connected by arrows to a set of logic boxes and then more this thing. So let me show screen again. In this case, I start saying, please send, decide how many messages, how many words the message should be responded in. I save it. From there, I say, okay, ask your question. From there, I do this, right? So this is how it is. It's very easy. You can see languages on the right. You can pick any language. Let's say I click Hindi. You'll see this in red because it's not been translated to Hindi. I go to more. I click on translate. I say automatic translate. I come back, right? And I click on Hindi. You'll see now it's already translated to Hindi. Similarly, Kannada translated. So this is how you can create chatbot flows and use the power of auto translation to quickly translate. Right? I hope Chandok ji, this answers your question. Anybody else, if you have any questions, please let us know. If you want to schedule one-on-one time, we can do that. Since there's 7 minutes, I'll do one thing. I'll quickly trigger a poll. Diksha, can you trigger the poll? In the poll, 3 questions are there. One of them saying, would you want us to get in touch with you to answer any questions one-on-one? Sure. So Yash, let me try to answer it like this. Let's say, and I'm only talking about a month's cost, right? Let's say you have 5,000 users, right? In this case, everyone's going to answer your messages, right? 2 times a month, you will send them a we will start a conversation with all 5,000 of them. So on the 1st of April and on the 15th of April, assume you're going to start conversations with all of them. And in this conversation, there are 10 messages being exchanged. 5 from the bot side, 5 from the user's side. Including Glific's monthly subscription charge, all of your data, so you also end up paying Google a small amount. All of your data goes to Google. We asked you to create a Google Cloud Storage instance, so it goes transferred every minute. So all of this, including taxes, will come to anywhere between 21,000 to 25,000 rupees. This is including Glific's charges as well. Right? What we can do is we can actually, if you want, get onto a call one-on-one and answer the questions on pricing. We can also take your, hey, I want to message 100 people, 200 people, 10 lakh people. These are number of messages. All of those we can consider and help you come up with your customized costing. Let me quickly.
And this is monthly cost.
This is monthly cost. I've triggered the poll. In the interest of time, we have 5 minutes left. If you could just answer these questions, I can schedule time if you need for one-on-one. We can also talk about how you can look at reducing costs by understanding the subtleties. Happy to do that on a one-on-one call. So what we'll do is I'll send a Calendly link. Basically, it's a link where you can see my calendar, and wherever there's free time, you can schedule 30 minutes. Then we can very quickly answer any questions you have, see any other use case in greater detail. Yeah. We have 3 more minutes for this call. We have about 12 people who have answered the poll so far. If the rest of you could answer, very grateful. If there's anything which is left unanswered, we have time. If you could unmute and ask questions, happy to answer them. I see some people are saying, yeah. So I saw also 2 people wanted Hindi. I will maybe schedule time and do this in Hindi with someone who speaks better Hindi so that we can answer your questions.
मेरा एक
but if
सवाल
there's-
था गौतम जी से।
हाँ बोलिए मैडम।
हाँ, तो ये जैसे उस टाइम पे वो नंबर डाल के हमने इसको लिंक में ओपन करा क्या, तो ये जो है अपना चेकबुक का ही आया था इसमें। तो उसमें ये जब नंबर दिया आपने तो हमने इसमें व्हाट्सएप में इसको ओपन किया, तो
ठीक है।
उसमें मतलब कि हाई लिख के करा तो उधर से मैसेज आया, फिर 3 सवाल पूछने का बोला, ये हम आपको जानते हैं, मेरे पास आपके लिए 3 प्रश्न हैं, क्या आपको संगीता कुंभकार कहा जाना ठीक है, या हमें कुछ और कहना चाहिए। फिर आप जारी रखना चाहते हो तो फिर जारी रखना हमने क्लिक करा, फिर उसके बाद सेम वही सवाल आया, उससे आगे बढ़ ही नहीं पाया वो।
हाँ मैडम, सो थोड़ा हाँ वो आज क्या हुआ है, एक हम मिडिल में एक एआई का लिंक लगाया था। वो हमने टेस्ट किया 3 बजे को काम कर रहा था, for some reason the service is down, so that's why it's looping. As soon as it's working, I will get back to you so you can try it out.
Yeah, because the same thing is happening in my screen also. Okay.
So
ठीक
that's the reason. I mean,
No,
sometimes
no
these
worries.
things happen.
Fine.
So get back to you ASAP.
Okay.
ठीक है, thank you.
Are there any more questions? If not, we can drop from the call now, and I will reach out to you over this weekend so that you can schedule time next week. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richa.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Gopal.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.